Welcome to the Sold Too Early Sports Car Podcast, quickly pivoting into pumping up cryptocurrencies instead of scrub QBs. That's Kai. I'm a whole Dogecoin owner. Yeah, in 1 week, Kai, Dogecoin's up 90%. We're in the stupidest timeline.
What is Dogecoin even at right now?
I think like 35 cents.
That's essentially what it was like when it died, right?
So Dogecoin, as of 5 p.m. Eastern, 11/12, is 38 cents. In the last month, it's up 244%. we are in a very dumb timeline. I love crypto. Don't get me wrong. I've been buying it for years. This is bad. This is like when you get afraid of things, but we're not a cryptocurrency podcast. I don't have any NFTs to show you this week. Kai, how the hell are you?
I'm doing good. Just for the record, Dave exclusively buys meme coins, nothing logical.
Dude, Daddy Coin Tate. I wonder where that's at. I was poking fun.
I was at like what? I think you sent it or something. Was it like 10 cents, right?
I'm checking it right now. It's at 9.8 cents.
That's so stupid.
So it is in the last week. That is up 10%. So somehow, some way, Daddy Tate coin is up higher than like CJ Stroud Kabooms because I made that joke yesterday. So for anyone who is not aware, Stroud vertical Kaboom PSA 10s in the off season were at $4,500, and then the last sale on alt at time of recording is like $2,900 or $3,000. So you would have been better off in the last month buying Daddy Tate meme coin. Or actually, no, you'd be down on Daddy Tate meme coin. It's down 36%, but it'd be about the same, which is terrifying to say out loud. Oh God. Oh Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, football's so weird right now. There's so many like solid teams, and then like a lot of the people you thought going into the year that were like safe are even kind of sucking. Like CJ Stroud. I mean, he hasn't had Nico Collins, but he's been kind of terrible the last month. So
I mean, hang on. We're gonna talk about a couple things today, but we can quickly look at Tankathon because
dude, the bottom of the NFL is so bad right now. There's like 10 teams that have like 2 wins.
Oh, dude, parity in the NFL has never been better. So Jacksonville being 2-8 is absolutely insane. I mean, they were a trendy pick for winning the division. Shout out Backyard dropping $50K just to watch it burn. It's kind of funny in a way. Giants knew we were going to be asked. That's not shocking. Titans, major step back. Not shocked that Levis has not been good. Mason Rudolph has been not.
He actually was decent last week, but they still got beat.
Yeah, that was Levis's best game he's played this year, which is not saying too much. Yeah. Brownies just ruined an organization. Vegas is bad. I mean, they went in with Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew, and they're going to almost certainly draft a QB. Patriots, whatever. I mean, you take it for what it is. Saints at 3-7. I mean, you know, they started off 2-0. They were incredible those first 2 weeks. Absolutely have shit the bed since. They're going to draft a QB. Jets are going to draft a QB. I would not be shocked if Rodgers retires. Like, he is fully and truly cooked. Panthers could draft a QB. I would not be shocked if they move on from Bryce Young. I would not be shocked if they fire their front office in general. Like, they've been quite bad. So there's a lot of movement.
I could see the Panthers sticking with Bryce Young, but like, even if you keep going, I mean, like the Colts, do they go back to Anthony Richardson? The Bucks, I mean, they're fine. Baker, I don't know what Baker's deal looks like. He's been playing great. Seattle, Geno's probably gone after this year. Do they go with Sam Howell or do they draft someone? The Rams, Stafford's like 38 or something. He's probably done in a year or two. I mean, there's a lot of teams.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of early to look at Tankathon, but like the fact that we have legitimately, you could tell me any of the top 8 teams here. You can tell me the Panthers too. Top 9 teams here with the worst record. They could all lose out the rest of the year. I would not be shocked.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird too. I mean, there's not, even if there's like 8 or 10 teams in this top 15 that need a quarterback, there's not close to that many decent ones in the draft this year. So it's going to be interesting to see like what kind of these like backups or like failed top picks like end up getting a chance to start other places.
Yeah, I mean, I can confidently say Like, I imagine Justin Fields signing with one of these teams and being like either the bridge QB or getting an opportunity to compete with a rookie. I absolutely see, like, if Flacco wants to come back for one more year, him signing with another team, it's going to be up to kind
He's
of.
been tragic, dude. I don't know.
If he wants to come back, I think a team would still give him a chance.
I mean, you have like Jameis, you have Sam Howell, who's the backup on the Seahawks. You have Mac Jones was okay last week.
No, he wasn't.
I mean, he's in the same tier as like Joe Flacco.
But I can see like Mitchell Trubisky getting a shot next year.
Is he in the league?
I believe Trubisky is Josh Allen's backup still. He's been there for a couple of years.
Is he? Oh, and like Ryan Tannehill's a free agent. Like he's fine.
No, Tannehill's done. He if he's not officially retired, he's all but.
I mean, I'd rather have him than Joe Flacco.
Yeah, I mean, like once again, I do imagine. Yeah, so Trubisky was the backup for 2 years in Pittsburgh. He went back to the Buffalo. Makes sense. He's not really done too much. Mason Rudolph is, I believe, going to be in Tennessee for one more year if not traded. Like that's a quality backup right there. Does the team kick the tire on Bryce Young? If Anthony Richardson's available in a trade, someone trade for him to do the Colts cut their losses. You know, there's definitely a good amount of conversation around like middle and QBs. Minshew probably goes somewhere else, and
a guy I weirdly like too. He never really got a chance besides 1 year. Is Davis Mills on the Texans.
Davis Mills is like once you get to those kind of backup QBs, it's really more of like who's gonna cause the least controversy in the QB room too. Like I imagine if he wanted to, he could stick in the league for a decade. If has like a third QB, if he's like fine, he's smart, he like helps the backup prepare or whatever. Like some guys are able to do that, others aren't. But you never know. I mean, like there's a very interesting conversation here because Jags are not going to move on from T-Law, obviously. Giants are going to move on from Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones might go somewhere.
Jones is going to be a backup somewhere.
I can see him being like a bridge quarterback.
I was going to adjust my statement because, like, you could give Daniel Jones like a 2-year, $25 million deal, and like make it like 20 years in the $20 million in the first year, 5 in the second, if you can do something like that. With the idea being, hey, we're drafting a random QB, go in and compete. If you're bad, whatever, you know, the second year you're going to almost certainly be the backup. It doesn't matter, and that's coming from someone who hates Daniel Jones. He's just not good. He's not a starter. He's a high quality backup in the NFL. That's fine. You can make a lot of money doing that. And I think a team would be better off with Daniel Jones as your backup as opposed to Aiden O'Connell or Jacoby Brissett or, you know, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who I do think is pretty decent, but he will not play. Like,
yeah, I mean, I think if you threw Daniel Jones on a team that has like a lot of good weapons, like a competent coach, like the Rams or
the Dolphins,
or even the I don't know. I feel like there's plenty of teams that like he could just go on. Like the 49ers, he's obviously not going to go to, but like something like that where he would just plug and play. The Vikings, if they wanted to give JJ another year.
I mean, not for nothing. If Jones wants to take a 1-year, $10 million deal, why not the 49ers, hypothetically? Yeah. You know, you kind of saw what happened with Sam Darnold. And I forgot
Darnold probably goes to a new team too.
I honestly would not be shocked if the Vikings gave him another like 2-year deal and said, hey, listen, like we think you can be the guy here. We'll give you a 2-year deal or a 1-and-1 and like see what kind of happens, because I mean he's definitely fallen off from the first 4 weeks when he was like an MVP candidate, which is crazy to say out loud. But Sam Darnold can win you a lot of games. So this was his ugliest week by far. He had 3 picks on Sunday.
They still won though, right? I think
it was like in a 13-7 game or something.
The last 2 games he's looked pretty bad, but I think they've won both of them.
Yeah, so he beat the Jags 12-7, and then I believe they beat the Colts as well. Yeah, 21-13. So like they're winning ugly, but he is in fact winning these games. But you know, I'm not going to be shocked if Sam Darnold makes the Pro Bowl this year. I mean, a lot of QBs make it because like they don't want to play, so he might be like a backup or an alternative or whatever. But he'll probably end up being a Pro Bowler. It's really impressive considering how his career kind of has started and fizzled out. But now he also leads the league in picks. So it's like, I don't know what's gonna happen here.
A nuclear option, which I don't even know if it's possible, but if the Browns decide to not fall victim to sunk costs and they just eat Watson's entire contract and he goes somewhere else, I don't know.
I legitimately do not even know it's possible to.
I don't think it is, but you never know.
I don't even. I have no idea.
That's got to be like the worst position in any sports team's cap in the history of sports.
Hypothetically, to trade Deshaun Watson, you as the Browns would have to add your first round pick this year.
Well, I mean, typically when you trade a player that's a big contract, like you are eating a lot of the contract, though.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, in addition to eating part of the contract, I'm assuming that you could do that. You would probably have to give a first round pick as well.
Yeah, I would think you'd have to give a haul to get rid of him. I don't even know like where he would go that would like even make sense. I was just thinking like nuclear option, like he could go somewhere else.
I don't even know how that would work because of how bad the contract is. Like at least the Broncos, when they like cut Russell Wilson, they ate, I don't know, $70 million of dead cap this year or 80 million. It was some absurd number. Watson's is like 100 and something plus. It's really, really bad. And teams that would even trade for him would either need the right cap space on top of multiple picks.
Is there any way you can look to see the most cap space teams for next year?
I'll check real quick.
Because I mean, I'm trying to think of teams that like would even make sense for Watson. I mean, like the Rams, plug and play him in, he'd be fine. I think there. I don't imagine they have a ton of money though.
New England, Arizona, the Raiders, Washington.
Vegas would be hilarious.
Vegas would be the most hilarious thing ever. It will not happen in any stretch of the world, but that would be super duper funny. The Browns are $44 million over the cap next year. The Saints are 77. The Saints are going to go bankrupt.
Dude, they've been pushing this back for like a decade. They just need to tank for like 2 years and cut everyone.
I know. Well, it's not going to happen. They're going to draft. They're probably going to draft a QB because like Spencer Rattler was.
Rattler is like the identical version, but the Saints version of Desmond Ridder.
Yeah, he did not really do too much. He got hurt as well.
I don't think he's terrible though. Like I don't think he's a bad backup.
I wanted the Giants to draft Spencer Rattler. I still think there's something there, but they're going to draft a better QB. He was what, a 5th round pick? They own nothing.
Something like that, yeah, later round.
Yeah, he'll either be a career backup or like, you know, he'll just like kind of exist in the league. Let's see when he was drafted. He was a 5th round pick. Yeah, like it is what it is. You're not expecting anything from this, and that's perfectly fine. Moving on, unless you want to continue to talk about this a little bit more.
No, I mean, I just think it's gonna be interesting to see. There's a lot of like opportunities, I feel like, for these random like backups this year that you could buy that go to new teams that typically like maybe there's half as many opportunities, but there's so many openings. I feel like next year that you could buy a lot more people.
Oh, I fully agree with you. I mean, once again, the talent in the NFL has never been greater, but there has been a lot of middle and QB play this year, if not just outright bad. I mean, yeah, Jacksonville trash, Giants trash, Titans trash, Browns trash, Raiders trash. New England at least has a rookie QB, so you can accept it. Saints pretty bad. Rodgers is done in New York.
My last thing I'll say on this is like biasedly, like this almost the way the NFL is working right now, where like if we don't have a quarterback, like you just suck. It makes me feel so much better that we drafted Michael Penix.
I mean, not for nothing. The Bears are 4-5. They just fired their OC. So like, yeah, we might be seeing a Justin Fields 2.0 situation going on in Chicago because it's not good.
I saw some people like veterans wanted Badgett to play.
I don't. That's really.
I think it's stupid, but I saw people were like getting mad that they wanted Badgett to get a start before they fired the OC.
That'd be the most hilarious time I have Tyson Badgett ended up being good, and they just burn the pick on Caleb. It's not going to happen. I mean, like you're going to give Caleb every opportunity, my God, it is as close to being code red as it could possibly be. Like, at least Caleb has shown something. Like, he had a game against the Jags, he had like 4 TDs, and against the Panthers, he looked good. Like, against bottom feeders, obviously.
He's been really bad outside those 2 games, though.
He has, and I'm not sitting here defending Caleb Williams. Like, if you gave him a grade right now, I think it's like a D+, C-, maybe. It has been as close to, oh shit, as you could reasonably be.
It's kind of funny. I think we keep rambling about this, but like, I think the pick for quarterbacks that most people like shit on was Bo Nix, but he's like definitely been the best value pick in the draft, I feel like, so far.
I mean, I wouldn't call it value. He's what, 12th? So.
Yeah, but like, he was what, the 6th quarterback taken?
I'll tell you right now.
He's been really solid. He's good rushing numbers too.
The thing about Bo Nix is, like, you kind of knew what you were getting with him, which is not a bad thing at all.
I thought he was going to be shit, though. Like, he's been really solid.
He had a lot of tape on him. So, yeah, Caleb, Jaden, Drake May, Penix, Lull, McCarthy. Yeah, Bo Nix was 6th. So, yeah, I mean, JJ doesn't count. That's not fair. Penix really shouldn't count there. Yeah, I mean, you can comfortably say that Bo Nix has been the second best QB in the rookie draft class so far. But that's not really fair to say. 2 have not played, and you know, it's a tough thing.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the main crux of the conversation. So there has been a couple of interesting things that have come through the grapevines in the last couple of days. I don't know who knows or what is officially true, but we have had some interesting conversations on this podcast. We've been privy to information that is either known or unknown. I mean, we've had people come on and talk about CT scanning of boxes and cards weeks before more notable people will talk about it. We've had, thankfully, like insider information and sources regarding just other things in our industry. And one thing that came up over the last couple of days that has been very interesting that I'm going to leave up for conversation because nothing is confirmed yet is the situation with Fanatics. A couple of things have happened or supposedly have happened over the last couple of days. I'm going to choose my words carefully here. Namely, Fanatics collects Orlando. Now, this is their website. They are alleging that the show in Orlando is going to still happen in 2025. We have heard things that lead us to believe that it's not. That it's not going to happen, that it is all but canceled, and that Fanatics collects LA, which was something that I heard information about well before, months and months ago that I've talked about on this podcast and in person have asked about it, is dead. Now, it's interesting because Fanatics Collect is a terrible name. Not because it's like weird or difficult or confusing, but because Fanatics Collect is also what PWCC became. So it's a really weird conversation because if Fanatics Collect is done, what is happening with this? We've heard some conversations about that too. Less conversations, but some conversations. My recommendation for everyone who watches this podcast or listens, I would consider pulling things out of your vault. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm not telling you that there's something wrong, but I would recommend possibly considering that because there's something happening here and we don't know everything just yet, but I'm more confident talking about the show Fanatics Collect being canceled than other things. And it's a very weird situation because Fanatics Fest, which might actually still be fucking happening and no one is exactly sure about it, might still be happening and no one is sure about it. And I have the date for that possibly if it still happens and no one is really sure. Kai, what the fuck is happening?
A couple things. So first of all, I've seen a few people talking about like the PWCC, like you should take your cards out or whatever. Yeah, it's probably a good idea. But I also think like if they stopped running it or whatever, shut it down. Like, I also don't think they're gonna steal your cards. So I think you'd have a chance to get them out if you aren't in a rush to get them out right now. But definitely, probably better to get ahead of it and just take them out for safekeeping. But in terms of the shows, it's got to be like the biggest clusterfuck we've ever seen. Like something like this. I mean, the New York show was one of the best things that I know a lot of you guys have ever been to for a card show, and then Orlando was supposed to happen, and everyone thought it was going to be great, and they canceled it due to a hurricane. But now maybe we might know it's not a hurricane. Maybe it was something else from all this. And if the New York one actually happens again, that just doesn't even make more sense. So I don't know.
I don't know either. There's information I'm a little privy to. I do know Fanatics lost millions on Fanatics Fest and Fanatics Collect. I don't think that's something that is private information. A lot of people on Instagram were posting about that as well. So I'm choosing my words carefully just based on what I've heard and giving time for other things to come to light. That is interesting. I understand a business does not want to lose money. Fanatics is valued at over $30 billion. Like, as of 2022, they were securing more funding for other things. There's also the possibility that they're trying to go public. And they're trying to do an IPO relatively soon. That has been something that's been discussed for years. That's not me saying that. That's just doing research ahead of time. Like, that, Michael Room clearly wants to take this company public, which is fine. It makes perfect sense to me. Is this just one of those things that's a casualty as a result? If so, where's the line drawn? Why is there no communication about this? Why are we hearing about this through the grapevines? This is a multi-billion-dollar corporation. What the fuck is actually going on? Do you just plan for it to be New Year's and everyone like, hey, what's happening? Because that's one of the trip falls that happened with Fanatics Collect Orlando. There was no marketing material. There was no timing. There was not a lot of information about it until September, because I was having conversations with people about the show. I received DMs and questions about the show. I don't work for you. I get in my information, however I do, and I was trying to be a resource for everyone. I've offered to help. I would have wanted to work for Fanatics, maybe not anymore, because of how things are just like apparently just visually falling apart in front of us. But Kai, it's getting scary. I don't know what's gonna happen now.
Well, it's just weird because it's not even something that you can like. I mean, at least for me, I don't even know where you start with like guessing what's going on. There's like nothing to go off of. I mean, like stuff gets canceled, people are gone, money's gone. Like I don't know what the motive is. I guess they could be going public, but even if they are going public, why is this that big of a deal that this all is getting done under the table? Like, doesn't really make sense either.
Also, not even that too, like just selfishly, if you're a dealer and you're someone who wants to like do major shows, you want to figure out your show calendar, because then you book hotels and flights and, charge to a business card accordingly, and you spread it out possibly if you're smart. Hey, guess what, Kai? I know my show calendar, at least for the start of 2025, because Dallas did a great job of at least finally showing us. I was questioning it a couple weeks ago, but hey, I know the show dates now. Dallas happens so often, Kai, that my schedule is based on this show. So, oh, hey, I know this is January 16th and 19th. What about Fanatics? Oops. Coming early.
You got so confused. You clicked the wrong link. They're the same thing.
What does that mean? Yeah, it's almost like Fanatics Collect Orlando and Fanatics Collect. Just a little confusing. It's just a little weird, isn't it? Like, what the hell is going on here?
And I mean, another thing with the Orlando, I know some people are confused. If you were planning on being a dealer, you have to reach out to them for a refund if you don't plan on waiting for the reschedule. So if we're planning on being a dealer for that show and you paid for a table, like email whatever email they sent for the cancellation, and you have to ask for a refund just for reference for everyone.
Yep. Like, this is a full month. This is October 15th. They canceled the show. It's November 12th, and crickets. Like, October 14th, last post. October 14th. How is this acceptable? How are you a multi-billion-dollar corporation and you're just leaving, truthfully, tens of thousands of people in the dark? Because if Fanatics Fest got six figures people coming into the room, because that's what they were toting. They said, hey, tens of thousands, 100,000 plus people came in, major success, whatever. We need to know information. There's flights, hotels, other accommodations. If you're a dealer, you want to know. It's not happening, obviously, as like we've been privy to. But why am I telling you this and not the billion-dollar corporation? What the hell is actually going on here? And they have to be accountable. It's really weird.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's something like we can't even really guess on. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
No. And then the PWCC Fanatics Collect thing, I don't know. I heard this. I have no supporting information, but I also have gone on record on this podcast before in the past saying I eventually think one of these auction houses is going to collapse, and I guess I'm right.
It would be a shame though, because PWCC is probably, bless you, by far the one auction house has spent the most money with, like by far, and it's probably not even close. I really enjoy their weekly stuff and premiere stuff. So
yeah, PWCC is great. It would be a shame if it was lost. I said Alt was going to be the one to go bankrupt. I don't know what's going to happen, but I don't know if this is truly the thing that unfortunately goes on. I'm not going to be surprised. I think there is an overabundance of auction houses in the sports card world. They are absolutely one of the main drivers of prices continuing to go down, because even on this front page, holy shit, there's 4 different auctions. 2 are running, 2 are about to be scheduled. And then you have, your Lelands, your Robert Edward Johnson, or whatever REA is, my bad. Your Goldens, your Alts, your Heritage, thank you. Your other auction houses. They're not all competing for the same collector, but they're all competing for your money. Yeah. And not always the best. So gonna be an interesting thing to happen. I don't know, but I would not be shocked if that rumor was true as well. Just given how weird Fanatics has been with things, they might just turn off the lights one day.
Yeah, I think it would have to be deeper than that, though. Like, they have so many cards from people, like, in their vaults and whatnot. Like you said, I don't think if they did, it'd be like fucked. But I don't think they would.
I mean, we don't know.
Yeah.
The fact that we genuinely do not know is the main thing. How deep is this rabbit hole going to go? I don't know, and I would implore you not to find out. So try and maybe consider pulling things out of PWCC just in case.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree probably.
But yeah, that's the main kind of thing that's going on, at least in the sports card world. It's been a busy couple of weeks for me. Do I say this? I guess I can. It doesn't matter. I mean, I've spent the last couple months trying to buy a house, and we will be under contract soon. So I have not been spending money on sports cards lately.
Shame on you.
I know, I'm just the worst. And even when I don't buy cards, I still do, because I bought a damaged Justin Herbert flawless rookie patch auto, the dual patch one. Did you see that card, Kai, or no?
Yeah, I remember I made fun of it.
Oh, yeah. So I'll throw it on screen. That card is so fucked. There's 2 main issues with it. The numbering on it is... the numbering on the card is so bad.
Way to sell it, Dave.
Dude, listen, for the price I got it for, it does not truly matter. The numbering on it is fucked, and then one of the patch windows is bad too. It probably is like an SGC.
Might as well be SGA.
It's gonna be a tag 9, or what's ISA 10.
A Dallas card grading 7.
DCR 9 or whatever, yeah. But no, I'm into that card for under $2,000. I can't be mad. Especially, dude, if you look at the comps for it, like...
I'm surprised I've never seen that copy before. I feel like that's something that would have been, like, floated around a few times.
Probably. I don't know how long it was owned by the person who I got it from. And I'm not going to poke fun at Nick. I love Nick. Solak is great. But Nick had that Brock Purdy NTRPA that was fucked. And he was able to move it. And I'm into this card for way less. Fuck it. I might as well try. Someone's going to give me good value on it. Because literally yesterday, PSA 9, 47.49, 2 of 10, PSA 9 to 25.36. I'm into the card for half of this. It does not matter.
He's been playing pretty good too.
He has been. And once again, I am someone who has actively shitted on modern QBs pretty often. You just kind of laugh when some stuff like this happens. Like, okay, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? I take a slight loss.
Deshaun Watson.
If Deshaun Watson happens to Justin Herbert, then listen. Here's what I'll say in response. If Deshaun Watson happens to Justin Herbert, there are way bigger numbers in play that matter than my under $2,000 investment.
I wonder if the person who bought that, who everyone knows, still has it.
I do not know if Jack still owns it. Or I guess he owns it with 3 people.
Yeah.
It actually says has been activated because okay. Well, that's vague.
They did like notes like that. It's kind of cool.
For like high profile items they do. Also, shout out to the guy who bought the Herbert for $550 and sold it for 1.8.
Damn, yeah.
Car was pulled at the National in 2021 by breaker Mitch Reed, owner of the winning spot in the break, negotiated a sale during the show. Consummated on 8/2/21. Buyer and seller verified transaction. Cool.
Dude, isn't it crazy that card and the cards like that in 2021 and 2022 were going for $1 million at auction?
Yes, people are retarded.
That is insane to look back on.
I didn't use that word, but you know what I mean. Like, sorry. When you're spending almost $2 million on this card, it's very special. Should I use that other word, whatever?
About you that make you special.
What?
I said you definitely have some qualities about you that would make you special if you bought this.
A little bit more than the average person. That's how I work that joke in there, baby.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. That's not good. I will always. I mean, China has more money than I ever will, but why? Hang on. Just why? Why?
It's funny that sold for less than Herbert too.
I know, and Burrow's better. But like, why? Why? Just so wild.
You know what's even crazier is that Immaculate sale.
The Immaculate is crazy. $534. I mean, every time we go down the price, the price trade, it generally
the price rabbit hole is crazy.
It just keeps going downhill. You were not here for the conversation I had with Bacon Dog Cards. Oh God, I forgot his name. I think it was Danny, but I could be wrong. I'm sorry. I'm a bad person. The rabbit hole we went down for QB prices was fun. It was a fun time.
Have we ever looked at? Can you look up Dak's most expensive card?
I don't think so. Dak is interesting because I don't think he really falls into it. I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be several.
No, he was right before the spike.
So he's gonna have multiple 6-figure cards, I imagine. Oh wow, I guess not.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, his 101 did $23K a couple months ago, like 11 months ago.
Like,
that weirdly feels like a decent deal, which is kind of weird to say.
Like, no one really cares for Dak.
No, they don't. But
Like Cowboy fans hate him.
He's basically Tony Romo, but black.
I don't
honestly.
I don't think that's. They don't play the same.
No, but I'm saying like production wise, like they're probably about the same. Like basically no playoff wins, and they're solid in the regular season.
I mean, Dak was the runner-up in the MVP voting last year, which is kind of funny. Which is just wild. Like
he's had a very like solid career.
I mean, for being a 3rd or 4th round pick, this is not solid. This is spectacular.
Yeah.
Like you reasonably cannot sit here and say, hey, Dak is bad quarterback. Dak is fine. Dak, when he was drafted, is phenomenal. And most teams would be happy to have Dak. The reason why Cowboy fans don't like him, the reason why the NFL doesn't really care for him, is because he's the Cowboys quarterback and no one really likes the Cowboys. That's
also just gave him what, like $300 million or whatever,
which is hilarious.
Which I mean, the funny thing is, like, he probably was worth whatever that contract was. It's just crazy they're getting that much money.
Oh yeah, of course. Like, so I mean, you could argue Dak's best year was last year when he was going to get paid. 17 games, 4,500 yards, 36 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, second in MVP, Pro Bowler, All Pro, whatever. Okay, like exceptional player in a vacuum because they don't win in the playoffs or whatever else. Romo, similarly, like I mean, it's a different era, of course, but his best year, 2014, 34 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 3,700 passing yards in 15 games. 3rd in MVP, Pro Bowler, All Pro. Like Romo is obviously a generation removed from like 17 games and more efficient passing offenses and better penalties and protection for QBs. But like Romo was also an undrafted QB and he was pretty good. I'm a Giants fan. I grew up watching Romo play against the Giants, and generally he was pretty good.
Definitely solid, yeah.
Like, I mean, we looked at Romo's prices whenever Bacon was on, and it was embarrassing because his most expensive card ever, ignoring this very, very fake tag GMA sale. Yeah, this is clearly fake. His most expensive sale is $2,800 for a game-worn NFL Shield auto.
It's kind of crazy. I didn't know.
It is. Like that, I would buy that. Like I hate the Cowboys. I think that's cool. Like
I think it's cool. I don't think I'd buy it for $2,000 though.
$2,000 I would. $2,760 I would. $2,000, hell yeah. Because I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna probably crack it because PSA 4 looks bad. Maybe slap it authentic, put it in Dallas Card Show Showcase at 4K, and be like, all right, find another. You can't. It'd be a cool card. And like once again, I'm a Giants fan. I don't give a shit.
I feel like he had I don't know why we're going down Tony Romo rabbit hole, but I feel like he had this weird run up like a year ago in his prices.
I mean, I don't think the market would move much anyway because you could still get rookie autos of him for like dirt cheap, like at like under $1,000, like comfortably. Like his contender is PSA BGS 9 auto 165, PSA authentic 10 auto 142. This is an in-person Bowman Chrome auto 431. Okay, sure. $86. Like a lot of QBs who are getting over leveraged are gonna have a worse career than Tony Romo. And Tony Romo did not light the world on fire, but he still was an MVP candidate. He still made a couple Pro Bowls. He was pretty solid. He stayed with one team. A lot of the QBs people are spending a lot of money on are not going to be Tony Romo.
Blessed if Tua survives long enough to have a career like this.
Yeah, I mean, there's way more QBs who are going to end up like Spencer Rattler than Tony Romo. And I would... Kai, I'm going to guarantee that Spencer Rattler's cards are comparably priced all time compared to Tony Romo's all time. Like Rattler's most expensive card to sell is going to be in the same ballpark right now as Tony Romo.
I would assume so, yeah.
It was in the same ballpark. I did not check that before this. It's fucking so stupid. Our industry is the worst. Like, okay, Spencer Rattler could be anything. He could be Tony Romo. He's not going to be Tony Romo, and I like that player. But these are going to go to presumably 0. And if he's good, he's not going to be, most likely, great. So, like, what do you think is going to happen here?
Who knows?
Like, Origins 1 of 1, 1925. Tony Romo's game worn NFL Shield, 2760. This sold a month ago. 2125, number to 7. Which means the 1 of 1, I assume, has not been pulled or it is not sold. That's going to sell more, most likely, all time than Tony Romo's card all time. Just wild. Just wild. His collegiate auto, $1,500 in 2022. And sold again. So, just a crazy world, man. What the hell is Michael Pratt?
He is a rookie the Packers drafted.
I mean, I could tell that.
I think he went to not ECU. He was pretty decent actually. I think he went to Coastal Carolina. He was pretty good in college.
We're halfway to Tony Romo at that rate.
That is hilarious.
It's something. I mean, it's also not an auto.
I think you kind of have to throw college cards out the window, though. Because, I mean, people that are diehards of these colleges are going to be paying up for these cards.
How about this? What is this?
I'm assuming the person bought the Draft Night 101 and it hasn't come yet or something, and they use that stock image to sell it.
Okay, fair enough. This is Chris Hemsworth.
That's
and
like low key. That kind of seems cheap for that.
I mean, this is pretty cool. It's Mark Wahlberg, Michael B. Jordan, Chris Hemsworth, and Chris Pratt for $450. Yeah, Leaf makes a cool card.
We're off the rails right now, but I saw one of these yesterday of KD, Curry, and Giannis, a 101 that was like $500, and I thought I had to like check comps really fast. I was like, is this a steal? But it's like a $400 card. I just don't get it.
So like Leaf will make a card like this, but it'll be like Omar Gaddafi, Chase Utley, Chris Hemsworth, and the kid from Up.
That is so weird. I was literally going to say that. That is so strange.
You were going to say Omar Gaddafi, the terrorist?
The kid from Up at the end.
Okay.
Wow.
How do you even spell Gaddafi? God damn it.
I don't know who that is, to be fair.
I'm the worst. We're going down the dictator route. Here we go.
Might as well throw Saddam Hussein on there.
Listen. When I have a preloaded joke, Kai, I just say the most random shit. So yeah, we're gonna throw Omar Gaddafi and the kid from Up on a trading card with Leaf and see what happens.
Oh man, yeah. If Leafs cards were licensed, they would do so well. I feel like they have some great signers. They
do. Wait, let me get off this page because I'm already in trouble. Leaf does some fun things, but Jesus Christ, you just never know what's gonna happen.
Like, you know what would be really cool is like a Moneyball card with like Chris Pratt, like Billy Bean, like the actual like player who Chris Pratt was in the movie, like stuff like that would be really cool.
It would be Scott Hatteberg, Chris Pratt,
David Justice.
Well, I was trying to think of the actors because it's it's Tom Hanks, right? Who did Moneyball? No,
Who?
Wait, that's not right.
No,
what's wrong with me?
It's what's his face? Brad Pitt.
Yeah, I don't know. I know I said Tom Hanks. I got it mixed up. Sorry, I'm thinking about the Syrian dictator who's not Moneyball.
And that one dude's in it too. Right there.
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill, yeah.
Yeah, you do a quad auto. Brad Pitt, Billy Bean, Jonah Hill, Peter Brand. Well, Peter Brand's not a real character, but Brad Pitt, Billy Bean, Chris Pratt, Scott Hatteberg.
Yep.
How do I pull this conversation back to sports cards? Because I
don't think you do.
I don't think I do either, but that's fair.
Okay, wait. We'll stay on the
All
same
right.
topic.
All right, go for it.
What would be your coolest quad auto of like anyone that could ever have happened in the world?
Can I go back to my first answer with Leaf?
No, like do like a serious answer.
Okay. I gotta think about it. This is a good question.
Could be actors, could be athletes, could be whoever.
Yeah, I think you go like.
No, it's for you though. Like it's
No, I
something
know
you
that.
want.
I know. I'm trying to think of like who. It's gotta be cool and expensive, and knowing me, also just like off the rails, bad. Because if I'm going strictly like stupid me, it's like 10-year-old David Dreams, like Brian Leonard, Mike Teal, Ray Rice, and like Kenny Britt, which is like a Rutgers cool card, like has no value.
If you really want to get crazy, you do like a Ray Rice, Deshaun Watson,
OJ Simpson, and P. Diddy.
Yeah.
That's a funny one. No, I have way more like inappropriate answers like Jeffrey Epstein, P. Diddy, like OJ, stuff like that than like serious ones. So unfortunately, oh man, I would need to sit on this and think about like what I would actually want other than my useless Rutgers one.
Well, why don't you sit on it for next episode?
Fine. You have to remind me though. What about you, Kai?
I'll sit on it too, and we'll talk about it next episode.
Fine. I will. Do you have any funny answers you want to give? Because I
do, but I probably shouldn't say them, so I'm gonna skip over that.
Just say one. Go with.
It's okay. We'll save them. Okay. Well, it'd be really cool.
Just fucking say it.
Well, I was trying to think who would go on it with this one person, but no, we're gonna refrain. We're gonna go to the next question.
Kai, I think I know what you're gonna say.
I think you do.
So, a famous painter, someone who wrote a book. Am I halfway there?
I don't really know what you're going for, but
sure, whatever you say.
Oh man, there's some opportunity there.
there's a lot of. Okay, so I'm gonna go with Genghis Khan, Stalin. I'm kidding.
Yeah, keep going.
Famous painter, 3, and then
The funniest part about this is a card like that. Can you imagine what it would sell for?
It would sell for millions because there's someone out there.
I think it would sell for like tens, hundreds of millions.
Yeah, and then you would go straight to hell after buying it.
Like, you can think whatever you want, but that's like a really cool like collector's item. Like, people, obviously, there's reasons you wouldn't like it, but like to have an auto for people that like basically don't have autographs. Like, that'd be insane.
There's a lot of things there, Kai. You're basically just going
correct. They're all terrible people, but like
the high score of people who died.
What?
You're going for the high score of people who have killed other people.
Essentially, yeah, they're all terrible. But like, if you added up all the cut autos people like that have, it'd be under like 25 total for all of them, probably.
I can't imagine Genghis Khan even knew how to write his name.
No, you'd have to get some like rock that was scribbled on.
we're just going. This is a sports car podcast, by the way, guys. Hello. Yeah, born 1162, died 1227. Holy shit! Can I get a 2-color relic of him? Like, how's that going?
We might have to settle for a patch card.
Was it game used or player worn? Hey, hang on here. Yeah, this is bad.
Yeah, I'm not finding any cut autos.
No shit, you don't say. Really?
That's unfortunate for the cause.
Yeah. You did say they had to exist. So,
yeah, it's tough. There's not a cut auto.
Drats. We'll get them one day.
Probably not.
Probably not. Welcome to the Sports Card Podcast, where we you did not call me racist this week, though, so I appreciate that. We just went off the rails in a different way, but thank you for not calling me racist for 1 week in a row.
No problem.
We're heading. We're setting the bar quite high this time. All right. Anything else you want to talk about or discuss, or we're gonna wrap up?
I think we hit everything we wanted to talk about this week.
We had like 20 minutes there of like intelligent conversation, and then I just dove into it.
Yeah, we lost it. Yeah,
we did lose it. That's about it. All right. Thank you guys for watching and listening. Hopefully you pulled your cards out of PWCC/Fanatics Collect. If you didn't, hopefully by next week we have information because it could be bad. It could be a bad time.
It might as well be Genghis Khan cuts at that point. They won't exist.
Allegedly. Man, when we get a court for this, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck is this podcast?" All right, see you next week. Bye.